Let's get more on this story from Ravza Kavakci. She's a member of parliament for the ruling AK Party, joining me now live from Istanbul. Many thanks for joining us, Ravza. Now, the AK Party says these changes, this new constitution, will bring more stability to Turkey. Can you explain how it will bring more stability?
The most important part of the constitution, the most important change that it wants to bring to Turkey is a complete separation of powers, which is something we do not have right now. The legislative branch, if we set that aside, the executive the judiciary branch, if we set that aside, the executive and legislative are intertwined together. And this change will ensure that they're completely separated, where members of parliament like myself only deal with legislation and the execution of the laws and how they are run is done by the executive branch.
What do you say to critics of this new policy who say they fear that these changes will bring in an era of authoritarian rule, so few checks and balances on the president?
I find that very unrealistic and untrue. Obviously, they have not read the constitutional change and what it brings, because it actually limits the power of the president. Currently, the Turkish president has the right to take the Turkish parliament to elections. We lived that in between two elections just last year, where there wasn't enough numbers in the parliament to form a coalition or to form a government, and the president decided to redo the elections. This constitutional change takes that power away from the president, and if there is a position where the system goes to a deadlock, where the president and the parliament cannot work together, or the parliament is unable to produce a government or on an issue like that, they both go to elections. So, if either side is not happy with the other, they both go to elections.
So just to be clear, who will provide the check and balances on the president?
The parliament will. All the powers that our critics say that are given to the president is like the ability to bring the budget to the parliament. He is the one who will bring the budget. But if that budget or the change or the decrees that are passed by the president, if they are not approved by the parliament, they are not valid. So it is the parliament that overrules. The parliament passes the last decision in those cases.
So give us a bit more detail about exactly what will happen after April 16th. We will have a referendum, assuming that it's voted in. What will we see next?
If the Turkish people decide that they agree with this constitutional change, the constitution will change. There will not be an immediate change with respect to the president and the parliament, but this parliament will continue until 2019, unless something extraordinary happens. But it will continue until 2019, when we will have the next parliamentary elections. And at that time, we will also have the presidential elections. Normally, Turkey has them separately. Now, from now on, if the Turkish people vote on this constitutional change, if they decide that this is what they want, after that date, every election, the parliament and the president will both go to the elections together.
Okay, Ravza Kavakci, I appreciate your time today, MP for the AK Party, joining us there from Istanbul.